Today we are checking out the SR2 Southpaw from the company Soulfire Guitars. Good afternoon. How's it going, everyone? I hope you've been doing well. If you're new here, hi, my name's Miles. I do music stuff. And for those of you that have been here for a while and may not have noticed, I have a confession to make to you. I'm left-handed. Yes, all my videos, you might have thought, oh, he just doesn't know how to reverse the video so that it's accurate to what he's got going on. But the truth is, all my life, I've been a left-handed guitar player. And with that, there's been a collection of struggles along the way for me. Like, I got my first guitar when I was 6. It just happened to be a lefty acoustic guitar, and I noodled around with it, but I didn't really do anything with it until I was about 8. And at that point, my parents tried to sign me up for guitar lessons, but it was at the time where if you went to a music school and tried to sign up for lessons as a lefty player, the teachers there would say, I'm not going to teach you unless you play righty. And the intention behind it was just that, like, if you're playing as a lefty, at the time, there were really no options for you as far as guitars that were available. And the ones that were available cost more money. And to me, holding a guitar this way seems completely foreign. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Using my left hand to do stuff, like, makes no sense. In fact, fun fact, at one point, all the members of my band, Our Fears, were all lefties, but I was the only one who was playing lefty proper. But with all that said, I've tried in my endeavors on this channel to be sort of like an ambassador for left-handed guitar players and bass players out there in the world, because I want companies to feel motivated to actually make products for this portion of the population that's out there, that's looking for instruments and doesn't want to just take a righty guitar, flip it over, and have to compete with the volume and tone knobs being under their forearm when they're playing. And this is where the company Soulfire comes into the picture. Anthony and Mike from Soulfire Guitarworks reached out to me recently, and they asked me if I would check out one of their model guitars, the SR2. Because they're running a line of lefty versions of that model, and they needed a left-handed guitar player to check it out and kind of like just give a general review of the instrument itself. So obviously, I said, yeah, let's go. And they were super cool. They brought the guitar to my job, and I got to see it firsthand, and I got to play it. I got to bring it home, and they've yet to hit me up saying, hey, give us our guitar back. So maybe I owe them a thank you for the free guitar. I'm kidding. I'm gonna give them the guitar back. I'm kidding. I swear I'm kidding. But yeah, they reached out to me asking me to check out this guitar in hopes that I can put it in front of the eyes of other lefty players out there in the world and they can grow their business. So let's talk about Soulfire guitars. So in 2023, Anthony Meza and Mike Barch decided to form the company Soulfire Guitars with the intention of making well-crafted instruments in the USA with sustainable components and just making the best instruments they possibly could for the musicians that were going to be playing them. Their ambition was to craft guitars that are geared towards guys that are playing rock, blues, country, and any genres in between all of that. But at the end of the day, the intention was to make instruments that are well crafted to the point where any musician that's holding one of their guitars will play it and say, yes, this is a very good instrument. And along with that, the intention was to make it so that each customer was able to make their guitar exactly what they're looking for in a guitar. So in the case of the SR2, in this case we're dealing with a cherry wood body, but you also have the option to have a maple top in terms of the construction of the body. You also have the option to choose between their Angry Dog signature P90 pickups or the WICKED MOJO humbuckers, which is what we have going on here in terms of this SR2 model. And depending on what you want, you don't necessarily have to have a neck and bridge pickup. You can just have a singular bridge pickup. So if you wanted to get an SR2 with just a single P90, you can get that. But here I am spoiling taking the guitar out of the case for the first time. Let me stop. Let's see what that looked like. I guess it's worth noting that I've seen this guitar before. Like, they brought it to my job to show and give me, like, hand it off to me, so I know what it looks like. If you want, I can do like a wow, no way, wow, when I unzip the bag, but I don't think that's gonna do anything for you in the meantime. So let's just see what it looks like. Let's open it up. So here we are. So let's get this out of the case and let's get it onto the bench, and let's take a little bit of a closer look. Here we go. The SR2 features a set cherry neck with a veloute. Veloute? I'm going with veloute. I think it's veloute. A black Richlite fretboard, a genuine silver-plated Soulfire emblem on the truss rod cover as well as the headstock, brushed aluminum fretboard position markers, and it comes stock with Grover tuners, but you can upgrade and get the optional Diodario auto trim locking tuning machines. Stock bridge can be swapped out for an optional Bigsby B7 roller bridge. You have machined volume and tone knobs. The finger radius is 12 inches, and you have 20 frets on a 25 scale length body and neck. Their WICKED MOJO custom humbuckers were designed specifically for the HB series guitars with strong character and wide range, which in this case, if you're looking to be geared towards playing like blues, rock, stuff along those lines, these pickups are going to be complementary to that style. The pickups are 5% overwound to Alnico 2 magnets with adjustable pole pieces to dial in your ideal sound, boasting plenty of output without sacrificing tone. And I'm sure you guys are all of the same opinion. These are all the specs. How does the guitar sound? So let's answer that question right now. Let's check it out. Here we go. But before we do that, you know what I'm going to say. If you haven't already and you like what I'm doing here, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. It helps this channel grow, and it gets these videos out to more people. I want more people to know about the stuff that I'm talking about on here. And, you know, this is a way to do that without having to put any real effort into it. So, come on. Come on. All the cool kids are doing it. Don't you want to be a cool kid? Don't you want to fit in? I'm sorry. Enough peer pressure. Okay, back to the show. I like the amount of mass that's attached to the knobs. Because, like, if you wanted to, you could, you know, finish a song and just quickly swipe it down. I also like the little indentation that's on here. You could use that as a bit more of an effective way to grab at it and take control of what's going on. So as far as my impressions of this guitar, I thought that going into the demo that I was going to dislike the fact that the finish that's on the front and back is also on the neck. I was weary that it was going to be this glossy issue that most guitar players run into where your hands get a little sweaty and it gets kind of sticky on the surface of that finish. But I didn't really find that. I found that it was really comfortable to play. It's a nice guitar. The neck is slender enough where it's comfortable playing bar chords. Like if you want to play bar chords Hendrix style, you don't really need to have massive hands to do so. And for me personally, I have a big appreciation for any manufacturers that take the time to not only offer lefty models of their popular guitar models, but go out of their way to make sure that those lefty models are ones that are worthy of being played. For context, I mean that there's been many instances in the past where I've been handed a lefty guitar from any given company, and after sitting down with it for 2 minutes, I think, this is a toy. This isn't really a guitar. It's not like an actual instrumental tool. It's something that you threw together to just make a profit off of. And believe me, there's been plenty of instances of that taking place in the past. Like, for example, there's instances where you get a lefty guitar and the components on it are just like not worthy of anyone that's a serious player. Like the volume knobs will be, like the volume and tone will be swapped because they just throw a template down inside the cavity of the body and they say good enough, it works, never minding that like it should be the other way around. And I'm excluding Schecter from this because there's a reason why they do their things the way that they do. But it's stuff like that, or like not rounding off the edges of the frets, you know, just kind of like throwing together something and being like, aren't you happy now? Aren't you happy there's a lefty guitar? Look at that. You don't have to have the knobs under your forearm anymore. You're welcome. But in the case of this guitar from Soulfire Guitarworks, it's a well-constructed instrument, and I really appreciate that. It seems that overall, Soulfire is trying to make quality instruments for not just left-handed players, but their players overall that are grabbing their instruments. Like, even the soft case that they gave me the guitar in is like the most industrial soft case I've ever seen. It's got a secondary zippered layer for like pockets of compartments and stuff like that. And it's like, it's a serious soft case. But yeah, it's clear to me that overall the company really cares about what it is that they're doing and the instruments that they're making for their customers. As far as negatives, which I don't even really want to refer to as negatives, but like things that were noteworthy to me with my experience playing the guitar, one of the things that stood out to me is that the size of the body seemed significantly larger than what I was anticipating. Like, to give further context to what I mean the surface dimensions of the guitar. The guitar itself, the body is very thin, and you even have this belly cut contour here for us older guys that don't have a six-pack anymore. They have a six-pack of hot dogs. So, like, they have me in mind, and it's a guitar that you can comfortably sit down and play without feeling like you're playing an acoustic guitar that you need to arch your arm out for in order to be around the body of. But as far as the size of the surface dimensions, it seems a bit larger than a guitar that I would ordinarily grab, like my Epiphone Les Paul. And I think that there's likely a conscious effort being made to make the dimensions significantly different from a company like Epiphone or Gibson, for example, because a certain company is known for suing smaller companies and saying that they're cutting in on their action and they're stealing their IP. And yeah, I think they're consciously trying to avoid that being the case. However, with that size, you get the increased resonance and sustain that comes with just having more wood to reverberate the sound of the vibration of the strings. And it's very loud even when it's not plugged in. So yeah, in that case, I can't really look at it as a drawback to the overall presentation of the guitar. In conclusion, as far as the SR2 from Soulfire Guitarworks, I think that what they have here is something really cool that if you are a player that's geared towards rock, blues, country, you're going to find yourself right at home with this guitar and how it sounds. But that's not to say that it's not capable of being right at home with other styles of music as well. I think it's a well-rounded instrument, tonally, and it's really comfortable to play. I thought I really enjoyed myself playing this guitar. And as far as the options that are available with this model, it's pretty customizable. You can swap out the humbuckers for P90s. You don't have to have two of them. You can just have a single bridge pickup. You don't have to have like the Tune-o-matic style bridge. You can have a Bigsby. Swap out the tuners for locking tuners. You have a whole bunch of options available to you. Like on their website, they have this one version of this model that has a single P90, and it's like this sort of like blue and purple metallic fade finish thing, and it looks awesome. It looks really good, and I kind of want one. I'm not gonna lie. And the starting price for the SR models is $2,500, which for what you're getting and the options that you have available to you in regards to getting your own perfect guitar, I think it's worth every penny. So that's all I got for you guys for today. Big shout out to Soulfire Guitars for reaching out to me and making this video possible. I promise I'm gonna get the guitar back to you. I'm not taking this as this isn't me saying thank you for a free guitar. It's coming. And I'll leave information down below in the description so you can go and check out the rest of what Soulfire Guitars has to offer for yourself. I hope you found today's video to be interesting and informative. And again, if you like what I'm doing here and you want to support the channel and what I'm doing here, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It's free and it helps me exponentially. So come on. And if you like what I'm doing here and you would like to support further than just liking and subscribing, down below in the description I'll leave a link to my Patreon page where you can check out what tiers of support are over there and the perks that are attached to your support. Shout out to my patrons for helping me make these videos possible. Honestly, I truly appreciate you guys and your continued support. I'm going to get into a more consistent mode of putting out videos. I just got my computer fixed, and long story short, I have a little bit more time on my hands these days. So I'm going to be putting out more videos, and I appreciate you guys helping make that happen. So again, thank you. And that's all you got to hear from me for today. I will see you guys in the next video. I got some stuff that I want to review, got some topics that I want to discuss. So hopefully you'll stick around for all of that. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, keep playing. Peace.